Today, we welcome Jason Craig from Australia's largest grain growers cooperative, the CBH Group. CBH has taken the lead, securing alternative export markets for Australian barley in the wake of China's tariff announcement last year. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks very much for having me, Claudine.
So what are some of the exciting opportunities for Australian barley?
Look, there's a number of exciting opportunities for Australian barley, Claudine. I think, a couple of key ones, particularly in malting, has been, the Mexican market, which we secured this year. That is quite an exciting outcome, and there's a number of others, including hopefully we can see India in the next 12 months, but also in the feed sector, we can see a lot of interest in markets like Thailand and the Philippines, which has had quite strong demand.
So how has COVID changed the dynamics of the global grain market?
The COVID-19 has had a significant impact on the global grain markets, on demand, on supply, and also operationally, this has impacted the grain markets. And I'll give a couple of examples. On the demand side, without doubt, there's a number of countries that are still suffering from COVID-19, and therefore their impact is seen, with less demand, and most of the demand being very spot. On the supply side, markets like Russia, for example, have added export taxes, and we're seeing some government intervention in certain markets as well. And operationally, without doubt, from a shipping perspective, COVID-19 has impacted ships and the time that they've been in ports. What we've seen is a rapid increase in shipping rate.
So Jason, you mentioned consumers are seeking more sustainably grown products. What are CBH's global customers seeking in terms of sustainability?
Sustainability has really increased in interest over the last 12 to 18 months. This year alone, we've sold about 1 million tonnes of grain into the sustainable markets, and that includes 500,000 tonnes to Europe. But I think importantly, consumers are now starting to show significant interest in where their product is coming from. And this is not just from first world countries, but from many countries around the world. And this is something that we're looking at leveraging by interviewing a number of our customers this year and understanding what those drivers are. If I can just give you one interesting fact, approximately 80% of customers around the world that we export to are interested or see at the importance of sustainability in their programs and are looking to procure sustainable grains. And I think this is an absolutely interesting fact. And, it is great that Western Australian growers and Australian growers can take advantage.
CBH is a near 90-year-old grain handler. Where do you see the future of grain production in Australia?
At CBH, we are very optimistic about grain production here, particularly in Western Australia. And we're forecasting by 2030 that it will increase from the 14 million tonne average we have today to around about 18 million tonnes. So we're investing heavily in the supply chain to ensure that we have an efficient supply chain for Western Australian growers. And despite rainfall continuing to decline, productivity through improved seed and farming practices has really made us very optimistic of the future going forward.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks very much, Claudine, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a really good year for Aussie grain producers, Claudine, and futures near record highs.